Hey, it's our first episode, and that's cool. It's also E3 week, and we've got predictions. Plus, the new Marvel series Loki debuts soon, and we've got our preview. This and much more on the premiere episode of Podcast Demastered. Hey everybody, welcome to the first ever episode of Podcast Demastered. I'm here with my two good friends, Chelsea.
Hello.
And Wade.
Hey there.
And as always, I'm your host, Ethan. All the work finally paid off. We're here recording our first episode. Are you guys excited?
Woo! Oh yeah.
Yes, I'm excited.
That's good. It'd be a shitty episode if we weren't. So, with that being said, this is actually kind of a perfect time to start our first episode because this is quite the big week. It is a few days out from E3, and we also, on Thursday, we have the Summer Game Fest, Jeff Keighley's show, and then it's just E3 for a week. You get the Nintendo Direct late into that. I'm sure Sony has something up their sleeve. Does anybody know if there's a state of play scheduled or anything?
Well, probably because Sony doesn't do anything at E3. So there's probably a state of play planned during that week.
Yeah,
probably.
They're definitely the malcontents. They kind of gave up on E3. Like, what was that? 2018 was the first time they weren't.
It was 2 years ago because last year was the second year, except it didn't happen anyway. So
yeah, COVID kind of saw to that. Mm-hmm. And then 2019 was like that weird year where like E3 had some shit going on. Like the ESA had a bunch of stuff going on, and everybody was backing out on them. Microsoft set up their own show like across the street. It was kind of a mess. So
yeah, the troubles started indeed.
I'm honestly surprised that there's so many big publishers, doing shows again at E3 now. So I honestly thought that was kind of the beginning of the end in 2019. So, but I guess not. So here we are.
Here we are.
Before we get into that, I was just gonna kind of check in with you guys and see what you've been doing throughout the week. Whoever wants to step up to the plate first, kind of just, what games you've been playing. Have you watched anything interesting? Read any cool books, any comics, anything?
Well, as a teacher on summer, my time's been pretty open. I've been filling that up quite a bit, though. A lot of that time's been dedicated to Final Fantasy XIV. Outside of Final Fantasy XIV, I've been doing a lot of Nier Replicant. Came out late April. Haven't gotten hardly halfway through it yet, but I'll get there.
How is Nier Replicant compared to Automata?
Well, it's very similar. It's just like it's a prettier version of the one that came out in like 2013, I think it was, something like that, 2010, on the PS3 and the Xbox 360. They did go back and change a good amount of stuff though too, so it's not just like a remastered, but it's not quite a remake either.
Right. Now, isn't Nier Replicant... So, this is the Japanese version of its original, right? Because isn't there like two different versions, or am I mistaken there?
No, you're correct. When the game came out, there was two versions. There's Nier Replicant, which came out in Japan, and there's Nier Gestalt, I think is how you say it, which came out here. They feature two different protagonists, but the same story. Everything else is the same. Japan gets teenage Nier, who is fighting for his sister, and then America got Daddy Nier, who's fighting for his daughter.
Okay.
So now, are there two different versions?
Right. Yeah. There you go. That was my. That was my.
That's a great question. And it's very simple, but it's kind of makes you shake your head in these days.
A Nier game that makes me shake my head. That is.
Well, that's yes. They were worried that America wouldn't like playing as a teen boy. They thought that like having this big muscly man would be more like appropriate to play as, basically.
I mean,
people would like identify more with that.
Because all Americans are big muscly dads.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No.
So when they announced the new version of Replicant, we were just getting Brother Nier, and everybody I think was pretty happy with that. So
So Dad Nier out of the picture, does that affect the story at all?
no, because they're the same person depending on the game that you're playing. Like if you're playing Gestalt, Brother Nier is not in it.
Oh, okay.
Because Daddy Nier is Brother Nier, just as a different model, basically.
Okay, so for story purposes, it's the same arc or whatever. It's just in one version he's a dad, and the other version he's a brother.
You got it.
Okay. Now, I have a very tenuous grasp on Nier lore. So does this take place before, after Automata, during?
It takes place quite a long time before Automata.
Okay.
Like thousands of years.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yes. It does set up it sets up the setting of Automata though. But that doesn't take place for a long, long time afterwards.
So and Wade, you know this, my biggest problem that I had with Automata was the world design and how it very much felt like a PS2 game. Is Replicant better or worse with its world design? Does it feel empty? Does it feel like there's a bunch of arbitrary invisible walls and the stuff like that I had a really hard time getting past in Automata?
It's a little bit different than Automata, I'd say. It's far more of a fantasy setting.
Yeah, isn't there magic?
Automata is more like yes, there's magic in it. Replicant focuses on the fantastical things.
Okay.
While Automata is very
it's very
machine driven.
Yeah, yeah, it's very
post-apocalyptic stuff like that.
Yeah, because Replicant you have a magic book that follows you around, where Automata you had a drone.
Yes.
They both, for gameplay purposes, do kind of the same thing. They're just there as an assist. It's just
yeah, you got it
right. Okay. Are you liking it? Are you liking it more than Automata?
Yeah, more than Automata. That's hard to say because I haven't finished it yet. But so far, it's coming out of Automata, since I've played that one first.
Right.
It is similar. It's a little slower, on purpose. I thought it was kind of cool actually. They felt that if Nier was moving at the same pace as one of the androids was moving, speed wise, ability wise,
right,
they didn't really feel that was very realistic, I suppose. These battle androids who are built to do these things.
Right.
While Nier is he's just a kid.
So he's not an android?
No.
Oh, okay. He's literally just a guy.
He's just a guy.
With a magic book.
Yes, absolutely.
So this is Yoko Taro's Harry Potter.
Yeah, something like that.
Perfect. That's all. Now I'm sold.
The book, Grimoire Vice, he plays a huge amount into the story. He's not like the Pod in Automata, where they're just kind of there. They can talk and interact with the character, but they're just kind of there. Grimoire Vice is a member of the main cast, and he talks to Nier constantly. He's sassy, to say the least.
I'm sure you enjoy
he's
that.
Oh my gosh. It's great. It's a great time.
What about 14? Is there what's going on in the realm of 14? Final Fantasy 14.
The realm of 14 is a buzz. We've got the new expansion coming out in November, Endwalker. The story just finished a couple weeks ago, and everybody's just
wait. Endwalker already came out?
No. Endwalker's story doesn't start till November, But the
okay.
Shadowbringer storyline just ended a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay. I was mistaken. I thought you said the Endwalker story just ended. I was like, what the?
Oh no.
That was short. Okay.
No, it'll be great. We're kind of in this period where they've put all their cards, their Shadowbringer cards on the table, and they say, okay, like here's where you need to be in the next 3-4 months. So we'll see you there. So everybody's kind of running through the rest of the end game stuff, gearing up,
right,
collecting stuff, whatever.
Getting ready for Endwalker, which is in November. Mm-hmm. Is there going to be? Is that like the end, or are they gonna? Or is there more? Do you think there's going to be more after that?
Endwalker's supposed to be the end of the current story, like the story that's been taking place for the last 10 years or so.
Right.
But they said that there will be more expansions after Endwalker that will go into new stuff.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I feel like they can't really, do like a Final Fantasy 14-2. So, I mean, I guess they could.
Yet, no.
Final Fantasy is definitely the one that could pull it off. They've done crazier nonsense.
I'm sure there will be a new MMO at some point, but Yoshi P, the director of 14, he's been pretty adamant that 14's here for quite a while longer. So
right,
we look forward to that.
Yeah, and it's probably one of their biggest cash cows right now. So there's really no reason to throw it to the side. So
right.
What else? I know you and I have been watching Dragon Ball Super in tandem.
Mm-hmm.
So I still haven't gotten past I'm still in the Goku Black storyline. So I haven't really got past that yet. Have you moved on past that one yet?
I am past you, so I won't say anything else.
Yeah, don't worry. This is my first time watching Dragon Ball Super. This is Wade's second time. So he's just kind of, being nice and watching it with me. So. But yeah, I honestly didn't know. I had zero expectations for Super. I didn't give it any. I've heard of it for a while, and didn't expect it to be as good as it is. I didn't think Dragon Ball could get better than what Z was. So, I'm actually been pleasantly surprised. There has been some dips. Some of the stories I haven't really, the whole Vegeta goo clone purple Kool-Aid, whatever the hell shit that was. That didn't.
Yeah, I mean those are your typical small little.
Yeah, it was like
episodes.
Yeah, it was 3 episodes. So it was fine, but it was pretty lame. So,
So how long is this show? When did it come out?
Oh God, when did Super come out?
That's a great question.
It's 2015.
So it's been a while.
Something like that.
It's been a while. I mean, Dragon Ball Z ended. The Cell Saga, Majin Buu Saga, that was the early aughts, right? When that finished. I remember watching Dragon Ball Z in the 90s, so
that's what I saw a couple episodes of.
So it's definitely been a while for that one.
Man, I can't. When Z ended,
because Z ended with Majin Buu, so
it did. But that was
that was a long time ago.
That was early high school for me. So
yeah, that's what I thought.
2005.
Yeah,
something. That's probably not entirely correct, but it's
around that
been
time.
A good bit.
Yeah, it's definitely around that time. And I want to say Super came out between 2010 and 2015. Is when it started.
It was 15.
2015. Yeah.
I looked it up.
But I'm watching it on Hulu, and I think it's not divided up into seasons. It's just the series, and there's there's 100 something episodes.
Yeah.
It's pretty beefy. Because where Goku Black storyline, that I'm in episode 56 or something, 55, 56. So there's still a lot of crazy. A lot of crazy coming. They're already they're already getting ridiculous with these Saiyan power-ups. You got Saiyan, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, and then which just kind of transitions into Super Saiyan Blue. And then Goku Black introduces Super Saiyan Rose, which I still think is dumb as shit. Rose. Like, that's the least intimidating shade I've ever heard of. Like, Rose's not even... That's like the... Like, it's the worst. That can't be the ultimate. Rose can't be the... That should have been the first. Rose should be your baseline.
Well, like, you know, Rose's just his version of blue. It's not anything different.
Right.
But it fits Zamasu's his thing of like beauty and godly perfection and stuff like that.
That's true.
And he's just being himself.
Yeah. I really enjoy Zamasu as a villain. He's great. He brings something different to the table. I'm used to, you know, Z villains being very, you know, one note, very lateral thinking. So I'm glad Zamasu
I'm here to kill you all, so have fun with that.
Exactly. Like, to me, I think Dragon Ball Z, I think the Frieza saga may have been like my favorite, but Frieza has to be one of the most one-note villains in that entire show. But for some reason, he's like my favorite. So,
you know, every time I hear Frieza these days, I'm always like, man, I really miss his original voice.
I know. That threw me for a loop when I was watching Super, and they resurrected Frieza, which I love the fact that Frieza's version of hell is him stuck in a tree, and there's like fairies like singing these happy-go-lucky songs and giving him hugs all day long. That's a pretty good version of hell. I love that. But I hated Frieza's recast voice. It's the worst.
Yeah.
It's just... As much as his dialogue is basically the same, they should have just stole that shit from Z and just worked it in there. It's basically all the same, like, 7 lines. So, a couple of Saiyan insults, how he wants to destroy Earth, you know. It's all. He basically just says the same shit over and over. So.
Oh, he'll get some more love later.
Does he come back again? No, don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. There's still like 100 episodes. Of course he comes back. This is Dragon Ball Z. Of course he does. All right, enough of that. Chelsea, what about you? What have you been up to?
Well, I think you'll be excited to hear this. I actually finished Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh my! So what is it, like 100 hours in?
I put in, I think it was 80, and I actually finished it earlier today.
Damn.
Nice.
All right, so
yeah,
just give us like your 1-minute review.
I thought it was pretty good. It's a pretty tough game. I think the world is incredible. I'm really surprised it was only one game. I think there's so much storytelling going on with like the notes and everything that it really could have been multiple games.
I know at the end of that game there's the little like the tease for the sequel or whatever, but playing that game before you even get to that point, it almost feels like they put all the chips on the table thinking they weren't going to get a second shot at it. You know,
I would agree with that.
Because they threw everything in there. The world is massive. There's hundreds upon hundreds of quests and side activities and so much backstory and lore and world building that it makes your head spin.
Yeah, and then I did actually finish Frozen Wild, I believe that's what it's called, before I finished the actual like main story of the game.
Ooh,
and
did that spoil anything?
Yeah, I was going to say, tell me about Frozen Wilds, because I never even played it.
Yeah, same.
Okay, well, so there'll be a little bit of spoilers with Frozen Wilds, but basically, it takes place in Yellowstone. Like,
what?
It's all of Yellowstone National Park, so it's beautiful. You see, like, the geysers and everything, and so I took a lot of screenshots, so I'll have to share those with you guys later.
That game actually has a sneaky good photo mode. I don't usually give a shit about photo modes, but that game is gorgeous. Even on base PS4, that game is amazing looking.
I will say, though, that Frozen Wilds, I think, definitely teases Forbidden West. Because it alludes to, like, the Forbidden West and how they woke the machine, and the machine that is the main, like, villain of the Frozen Wilds storyline.
How long
But then
did
it still connects back in with the main storyline with Gaia. Is that right?
Yeah.
And the whole life making.
So, I can't remember. It's been a while. And I had to, like, read wikis because I definitely beelined the last third of that game. But Hades is not totally dead, right?
Right. Because Silence, is that his name? He captured Hades at the end of that game.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
But he doesn't make an appearance in Frozen Wilds.
Yeah, because Frozen Wilds takes place technically after you've finished Zero Dawn, right? Like, is it?
I believe so.
Does she make any sort of like story, like inference that she's already finished her campaign and Zero Dawn and now Frozen Wilds is new?
Actually, because you can play it pretty early, the dialogue changes depending on if you've completed the story or not.
Oh, interesting.
So it doesn't
That's
actually
cool.
spoil things.
Nice.
And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. That's a nice touch. How long did it take you to finish Frozen Wilds? And counter, second question. Do you think it is necessary to play Frozen Wilds to enjoy Forbidden West?
Well, Frozen Wilds was a pretty lengthy story, but I also did all of the side quests. I did all the side quests in the entire game, too. The only thing I didn't complete were the hunting lodge.
Yeah, I don't think I did any of the hunting trials or any of that stuff.
But I think Frozen Wilds, the story was estimated to take about 15 hours, I believe.
Jeez.
Well, that's not bad for DLC.
Yeah, that's basically your average game. So.
Yeah, it's amazing that it's included with the like base game because yeah, it's definitely a whole game in itself.
Jeez. Are you going to try and platinum Zero Dawn?
I really don't know. I might try. I don't think I will be able to because you have to get the suns, the hunting lodge, like perfect scores on or like beat the number one time limits and
yeah. See any kind of trophy that has like scores to it, I immediately duck out. So.
Yeah. So I might try for a little bit, but I think it would be good to play something new since I've been in that game so long.
Yeah, spending 80 hours. That's definitely change of pace time. But
Yep.
Wade plays. How many hours do you have in Final Fantasy 14, Wade? Like 5,000.
We're not talking about that again.
No, maybe we should.
Exactly.
Not 5,000. Was that 5,000? I don't think that was quite right.
Yeah, it's a little low. So I think I lowballed you there a little bit, but
Oh my gosh.
Chelsea, I know you and I have also been playing Battlefield 5.
Yes.
Just standard multiplayer. We don't mess around with the battle royale unless you've played the battle royale on your own. I hate battle royales. So.
No, I haven't played it. I've just enjoyed playing with you.
Yeah.
And doing those campaign or the mode we've been doing.
And speaking of Battlefield, we got that premieres Wednesday, right, for the new one? I think it's Wednesday. It's either Wednesday. I would assume it's Wednesday because Thursday is the start of the Summer Games Fest. So I think EA's doing their little Battlefield reveal before that. But
Well, that'll be cool.
yeah, I'm really excited. I am like 99% sure that the next Battlefield is not going to be like in the past. They did World War One, they did World War Two. They usually keep up with Call of Duty's cadence. So since like the last Call of Duty was, they did Modern Warfare and then they did like Cold War, which was basically just Modern Warfare with slightly different cosmetics. So I'm expecting the new Battlefield to be at least modern times or slightly futuristic. But either way, I'm pretty damn excited for a new Battlefield.
It'll be good. But at least I do like playing Battlefield 5 with you. I like the whole period aspect of World War II.
Yeah, Yeah, the period ones are super. Like, I really enjoyed World War One. I put probably 200 hours in the World War One, but I don't know. I've always enjoyed like the more like the modern battlefields, just because there's with all that with the modern technology, it just gets some of those scenarios get pretty crazy. Pretty excited for that. So yeah, that's basically what I've been playing that as well. I don't know. What else you got, Chelsea? Have you been anything else?
I mean, I have been to the movies recently. I mean, I'm not
Whoa,
ready
whoa,
to go
whoa,
back
whoa,
into
whoa.
an actual.
Oh
Well,
yeah, okay. I was gonna
Yes.
You said back to the movies. I was like, you went to a theater?
No. That's what I am not ready to go back to a theater anytime soon. But luckily, there is a drive-in about 45 minutes away, and
Oh, nice.
that opened the last couple weeks ago. So I went there not too long ago and saw A Quiet Place Part 2.
Nice. Did you see? I'm assuming you've seen the first one.
Yes, I have, and I saw that one in theaters, which was definitely worth it seeing in theaters.
Yeah, that's definitely a theater experience kind of film,
Yep.
especially if you have a good crowd. Because like
Yes.
you can literally watching that movie, you can hear literally anything happening in that theater.
Yep. Well, that made it also awkward because we always get popcorn when we go to the movies. So when we saw the first one,
God.
we're like, oh. And they were like, oh no, we cannot eat popcorn because everybody can hear us.
Yeah.
And we have to just focus on the movie. So I don't think we even ate a whole lot of our popcorn because we were just trying not to make any noise and just focusing on the movie.
It's even more.
Oh, that's tragic.
It's almost even more awkward watching someone try not to be awkward eating popcorn. They're just like taking
Well, it's
one
dark.
kernel at a time, slowly putting it in their mouth, slowly chewing on it. You just gotta wolf that shit down in the trailers, you know? Don't mess around. If you're gonna get any kind of food or drink or any of that stuff, that shit better be over with before the movie starts, in my opinion. You got at least like 12 minutes of previews. You can sit there and eat your fucking Mike and Ike's before the movie starts.
That's
So
how
that's
I
when you
get a
finish
lot.
the first bucket of popcorn, and then you get a refill before the movie.
Oh, no. It never fails. I always sit next to the person who gets the big bucket of popcorn, and throughout the whole movie, they sit there and shake it to try and shake, the kernels to the bottom or get their butter, oil shit all over it. It's oh my god, I hate it so
Hey,
much.
man, I'm right here. If you have something you need to say to me, you can say it in front of all these fine people.
That, like, popcorn's definitely like, it bothers me, but not as much as the people who struggle to open the candy wrappers. You know,
Sometimes you forget to do it, and it's just too late.
Yeah, it's like it's like a big, it's like a calm moment of the film. It's super quiet. You hear a guy struggling to open his Twizzlers for 10 minutes. Oh god, it's the worst. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Just like a Band-Aid, you just do it. Just get it done.
Yeah,
Boom.
open all
There you
your
go.
shit before the movie starts.
I don't know. That's what you get when you pay for the movie-going experience. I just have problems with people kicking my seat. When you do that, that just ruins it for me. I don't care if you're munching on popcorn or eating your candy, but when you kick my seat or do something like that, no.
See, I'd rather just not have anyone in the theater. So,
I mean, I typically try to get in the back row, but,
I do really like going to premiere nights for like really big like your Star Wars films or your Marvel movies, because usually that audience is all kind of the same type, so you all cheer at the same shit, you all laugh at the same shit, you all clap at the same things. It's like it's when you go to like a Wednesday matinee and you just get like parents that have their kids with them, they're just trying to like distract them and they don't really give a shit about the movie, or you get just like random people that have like free movie passes and they're just watching. Like, you get like crowds that don't necessarily care what they're doing, they're just trying to kill time. Those are the worst.
The last movie I went to see in theaters was Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't regret it. Great movie.
Okay.
We went to go sit there and watch it. That's how it was the whole time. There were like 3 huge families of extremely young children.
Yep.
And I don't know what actually happened in the story, because they were all like
Yeah.
gallivanting around the whole time.
Yeah,
and
they're
I was
hellions.
Like, and then the world went to pot right after that, and I didn't get to like
Yeah.
go re-experience that movie.
That's how it ended for you.
Yep.
What was the last movie?
That is how.
The last movie I saw in theaters.
Oh gosh.
Not Black Widow.
Fuck, what? Oh. Okay, I know what the last movie was I saw in theaters. And it's just as tragic, but for different reasons. Last movie I saw in theaters was Rise of the Skywalker. So that pretty much ruined everything in life. It was a great audience too, and we all kind of walked out with our heads down. So, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I just made Dragon Ball Z jokes the last 20 minutes or so, last 30 minutes.
I'm pretty sure I think I remember texting you about how the Emperor just shoots lightning up into the sky to destroy like 100 ships. And I was like, when did my Star Wars turn into Dragon Ball Z?
Absolutely.
What is happening here?
Yeah.
So yeah, that pretty much ruined the theater experience for me. Just having a beloved series completely shit on. So.
Well,
Okay, apparently I had a good last movie then, because I either saw 1917 or Jojo Rabbit.
Oh god, both of those are brilliant films. Yeah, so you lucked out.
Yes.
You definitely lucked out there. Back to Sonic though. I actually watched Sonic recently on what was it? Hulu, I think. I watched it with Atlas. And he didn't give a shit, but I was definitely into it, surprisingly.
Wasn't that a great movie?
It was, yeah. It was a lot funnier than I expected it to be. I went in with, very low expectations. I honestly just turned it on in the background for a distraction. So, but it was not bad. I will watch the sequel.
I'm all set for my guy Tails. Let's go.
Right? And Knuckles is supposed to be in this next one, it's rumored, so,
Oh, they can keep Knuckles. I want Tails.
Well, Tails is going to be in it. But you got to have, Knuckles, species were in the beginning of the film, so.
But if they wait until the third one, though, they can keep the meme going, Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yeah, that's true.
They can keep it going.
That's true. I do love how they made a big deal about announcing the title for the new film, and it was literally just Sonic 2.
Sonic 2.
I was like, that's perfect.
Let's not bring up that presentation. I'm gonna cry all over again.
Oh yeah,
Waste of my time.
The 30th anniversary Sonic stream. Jeez, what a waste. What a waste of 8 minutes. Or whatever it was.
Guess good thing I missed out on that.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
Well, with any luck, maybe we'll get an actual trailer for this new game at E3 sometime. Maybe.
I don't know. Is Sonic or not Sonic? Is Sega announced for E3 or? I don't remember seeing them on the.
I don't know.
I don't know if I did either.
If anything, they'll probably slip in with Nintendo or something like that. They tend to do things like that.
Yeah, they do that, especially when they announce those Sonic and Mario go to the Olympics games.
Well, and there is one of those coming out, so
Yeah.
that's pretty likely, actually.
I love how half of that Sonic stream was literally just like, hey, we got Sonic in this game. And you want to... It's like, you can have Sonic be a doctor in your hospital. And I'm just like, what the fuck am I watching? We can't make our own games. We're gonna license Sonic out to yours. So, God, waste. All right, I feel like we completely spun off into a oblivion there. We never even talked about A Quiet Place Part 2. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Okay, well,
went down a rabbit hole
yeah,
of bad
so-
theaters.
Well, A Quiet Place Part 2. I thought it was pretty good. It's definitely, I will give it's slight spoilers, but it's not super big. It's a sequel that I wasn't quite sure was that was needed, but with the end of it, they really set it up for it to be a trilogy.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
they could honestly leave it, but
I mean,
There's definitely more they could do.
I honestly thought that after the first one. I was like, this is a perfect one-off that they will ruin with 7 sequels. Because that's how every horror franchise starts.
Oh, Paranormal Activity.
Paranormal Activity is the prime example of just a perfectly good one-off that, just got destroyed with its, like, what is there, like 6 or 7 of those movies?
At least.
Yeah. I mean, they do it with everything. They've been doing it since the beginning of time. They always just ruin horror franchises because they're cheap to fucking make, and they do great in the box office. Cause, you can film a movie with like $1 million, and you're gonna make it, quadruple that in the first weekend. So yeah.
But I will say this movie was well shot, well acted. So it was a good sequel. It was just, one that was initially not needed, but then definitely set it up for there to be a third.
I remember seeing like a blurb that someone like interviewed John Krasinski, who directed this one and the original, and he said that he has ideas for the third one, but I didn't take that as we're doing a third one. I took that as like, if we want to do a third one, I have like an idea. But I guess they're probably gonna wait to see, box office draw. See what, I mean, I know it's doing pretty well, especially since most people aren't going to the theater still. But it's actually pulling in pretty decent money. So I don't know. That's definitely a wait and see, literally, for me. So I have there's not a single thing coming out this year that's going to draw me to a theater. So drive-in or otherwise. So, in fact, I don't even think... I've never been to a drive-in. I'm definitely too snobby for them. I'm honest. I'm honest with myself. I know I am. I know I'm definitely too snobbish to go to a drive-in. So.
Well, maybe we can find some like nonchalant movie and go find a drive-in. So like you're not watching some prime masterpiece while you're experiencing this. It's pretty cool. I like it.
I feel like drive-ins are for like what we used to do at Warrenburg, like they do the midnight movies, like your Rocky Horrors and Monty Python and like those cult classics. Those are drive-in movies. I don't want to go see. I don't want to go see Dune or Black Widow at the fucking drive-in. So I don't want to sit in my tiny ass Prius with my shitty Prius speakers and watch that movie. So it sounds awful.
I mean, but it's definitely a good way to watch some of these movies when you don't want to go into a theater at those times. So it's definitely something that I've done occasionally, but I've definitely done quite a few more times during this pandemic.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a good alternative. Especially since not everybody's doing the Warner Brothers model where they're just releasing everything on HBO for a month or whatever. That's how I've watched.
Exactly.
Like, I know their new one is that new Conjuring film, which looks dreadful, but it's free, or not free, but on HBO without having to pay the extra
the Disney Plus,
the Disney Premiere, bonus or whatever. Did they do that for Cruella? That's Premiere Access, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Either one of you guys watch that?
I'd really like to, but no. I'm not gonna pay $30 to see it.
Yeah,
I'll wait.
I have almost zero interest in that, and I saw I think yesterday that they're already talking about a sequel.
Yeah.
I mean, Maleficent got a sequel, so might as well make a sequel for Cruella, I guess.
I loved the Maleficent movies.
I've never seen any of that either.
No, they're really good.
I don't think I've seen...
I watched the first one.
I don't think I've seen any of the the live action Disney kind of either the full blown remakes of classics or just like these little side stories. I haven't seen any of them. Lion King, Jungle Book, Beauty and the Beast. They did Aladdin. I didn't do any. I haven't seen any of that stuff.
To me, it just kind of depends on which movie they're doing. Because for some of them, I'm like, well, I don't want to watch it because I'd rather just have my memory of this movie, just the way it is. But for some of them, if it's like a whole new story, like Maleficent is not, it's based off of Sleeping Beauty, but it's not at the same time. Like they don't just
Right.
follow the script, you know? But
Yeah, it's
like
literally-
Aladdin,
yeah.
Lion King, it's just literally the movie,
Yeah,
more
exactly.
or less. Give me something new. I'm here for it.
Yeah, like I don't have anything against the idea of your like a Maleficent or a Cruella. They just I don't know. I don't have that much fanfare for Disney characters or Disney IP anyways, so none of that stuff.
Yeah, you're not a Kingdom Hearts person. You wouldn't get it.
It's
Disney's my childhood.
I mean, it is mine too. I remember getting all the VHS copies of all the Disney movies, and they had the the weird little like extra plastic kind of cover that they are in.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had all those. I love watching like Disney classic films. It's just I don't know. I don't really care to watch the live action remake of them. So, and honestly,
That's
Take 'em or leave
understandable.
'em.
and I don't like 101 Dalmatians even as a classic. So I don't really. Cruella doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
And I really like Maleficent as a villain, but those films just don't look super great from a just like at a glance. I haven't seen them, but just like watching a trailer for them, yeah, nothing does nothing for
Well,
me.
I'd say watch the first Maleficent because, like, if Angelina Jolie was not Maleficent, it wouldn't have worked.
Right.
But you could say she carries that entire movie. But she should because she's Maleficent. So.
Yeah. 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 If the title of the film is your character, you should damn well carry that film.
I mean, that's partly why I'm so excited for Eternals. Just so I can get to watch her be so, like, powerful again.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm more excited for Eternals now after seeing some footage for it than I was when it was announced and we're just seeing, like, the occasional poster or, blurry set photo or something.
Right.
100% agree.
I still am completely ignorant to these characters. I have no idea who any of them are. I don't know who the fuck the Eternals are. So it's kind of nice going into this film not knowing anything. I have no preconceived notions of who they should be or who they actually are. So
Right.
Yeah.
that's kind of exciting. Same with Shang-Chi. Have no idea who he is. That movie looks awesome. No
looks
idea.
great.
No idea who anyone in that film is. So, so it's kind of nice having some of these Phase 4 films with these kind of like less popular. They're not your Spider-Mans and your Captain Americas. And, the lesser known characters. It's going to be pretty exciting to see a lot of that stuff. See how all that plays out. I don't know, Chelsea, is that it on your side, or what else you got?
Well, let's see. I did also watch Mitchell's versus the Machines this week. The Sony Animated Pictures film on Netflix.
I'm actually incredibly curious about that film, but not for the film itself, for the director, because he is supposed to be doing the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film for Seth Rogen.
Oh, okay.
Oh, interesting.
Right? I just saw that the other day. It's like 2 years out. Like they're just now in the planning phase. But the only credit that I saw that guy had was the Mitchells versus the Machines. So with that, is that movie any good?
I mean, I think it's pretty fun. It did have a couple slow moments and stuff they could have cut it down because for being a kid's animated film, it was about an hour and 50 minutes. So it was
Wow.
getting close to that 2-hour mark. But the animation is great. I think it's because it's basically like almost a follow-up to after Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh,
with
nice.
Sony just wanting to really change up their animation style and add a bunch of little things to it. So that was really fun. And then there's definitely some gimmicks for adults. Just funny because it deals with technology and playing on like technology taking over the world and big corporations. So that's pretty fun.
Pretty timely.
Yep.
I do like that Sony is taking a different direction with their animation, because I feel like there was a time where everybody was just trying to play catch up with Pixar. and realizing that you can't. Because Pixar is like, cream of the crop when it comes to animation. So it's smart to just kind of like carve out your own little niche. Like they did that beautifully with Into the Spider-Verse. Like that style is so fresh and so cool. I definitely want to see more of that kind of stuff.
And I like seeing characters that don't always look the same. I'm sorry, Disney, but all your princess female characters are like the exact same model.
Finally, the person who loves Disney is shitting on Disney. This is what I've been waiting for.
Such a brave stance.
Yep. Come over to the dark side. We have hats.
I stepped over and then I came back.
Yeah, you're like, ooh, this is icky over here. I don't like this. Yeah, so that's on Netflix, right? Is that where?
Yes, it is. And it's, Sony's first animated film on Netflix. And I think they're actually going to put another animated film coming out next week. That's called Wish Dragon.
Oh God, that literally reads as almost like a name generator, like one of those.
It's like a fairy tale story.
Yeah, like one of those things you see on like BuzzFeed, and it's like, oh, put in your birth date and your year, and this is your, whatever the hell, like Wish Dragon. That's how that reads. Or it's a Dragon Ball movie. Everything always ties into Dragon Ball.
That's fair.
No, it's a very pink dragon. It's hard to see, but yeah, it's very colorful animation. Who knows? I might watch it. I do love animated films.
Yeah. I don't know. I still want to watch the second volume on Netflix for Love, Death, and Robots, because that first volume was awesome. So I
heard that was really good.
Oh, it's amazing. It's just like these little short stories. Definitely like a hard R though. So it's definitely not for kids. And then I still need to watch season 3 and season 4 of Castlevania, because I really do like that show. I just haven't been able to catch up. But I heard
we should watch that together, because that's exactly where I am too. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I just started season 3, and then Dragon Ball Super came into my life, so kind of derailed everything else.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I definitely want to get back into Castlevania. That seems like a good fall show to watch. It seems odd to have Castlevania in the spring and summer. So that might be my my fall binge. So, but yeah, just watching Dragon Ball Super on my end, or Dragon Ball Super.
Dragon Ball Super.
Dragon Ball Super. That's the game that's coming out. I have been playing a lot of NBA 2K21 because it's NBA playoffs, and which actually it's over for me because my Lakers are out. Sad day. Lost in the first round. This is the segment of the show where Ethan talks sports. So,
I can
wake me up when we're done.
Yeah,
I'll nod and say sorry for your loss.
Yeah, I'll keep it brief. But yeah,
we just feel your pain, Ethan.
Yeah, thank you. I need it. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of NBA 2K21. Started MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries. That game just came to Game Pass. I think it was last week actually, but that game actually came out on PC in like 2019. And it was PC exclusive. MechWarrior almost always has been a PC exclusive. And it was a very long dormant franchise until MechWarrior 5 came out. I think it was like 10 years, maybe more. And I feel like in that time period, not much has changed. It still feels like it's a 10, 15-year-old game. So it looks nice. It doesn't look anything It's not super snazzy. Definitely doesn't look. I'm playing it on my Xbox Series S. It doesn't look like it's a next gen title or anything like that, but it looks fine. But it's very much Mech Warrior. You take a mission, they drop you into a fairly small, self-contained map. All the objectives just kind of are the same thing. Just kill all the enemies on the map and then exfiltrate. That's basically it so far. There's a lot of underlying mechanics with it. This one, since it's mercenaries, so the whole premise is you do these missions, you take these contracts, you get money, use the money to get better mechs. That's kind of the loop. So, I don't know. It's been fun. It's nothing noteworthy. It's nothing to, I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it. I'm a big Mech Warrior. I played Mech Warrior a lot on the PC when I was a kid. It was, I feel like the old PC versions were very, simulation-like. They're not super action heavy. This isn't like Titanfall or anything like that. You're very slow moving. You have to worry about heat, and each part of your mech can take damage. You have to worry about that. You have to, I don't know, it's a very slow, kind of methodical mech game. But it's been nice. The missions are short. They take 15 to 30 minutes on average. So it's a nice game if you have a little bit of time, just jump in, do a mission, hop out, you're done. So that's kind of been my lunch game. So
Well, that's nice.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's not, I don't know. It's not a strong recommendation, but if you like Mech Warrior games, it's more Mech Warrior. So they didn't really change the formula too much. They may have added a little bit more stuff on the edges, but they didn't really do anything revolutionary with it. But I don't really think they have to. It kind of works. It's different. It's its own niche.
Yeah. If it's broken, don't fix it. If people still like it, go for it.
Yeah. I don't know how well it's doing. I don't know how popular Mech Warrior is anymore. I feel like it came to Game Pass and no one talked about it, so I guess it's. But like I said, it's a PC title. Pretty much has always been. So the idea of it coming to the Xbox console is probably still pretty low on the radar for most. So, but it's on Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, play it. There's no reason not to. And other than that, Battlefield 5 has been kind of the go-to multiplayer for me. And that's pretty much it. I haven't watched any new movies. I haven't really watched any new shows besides Dragon Ball Super. That's pretty much my go-to right now. And probably will be for the next, I don't know, got another 100 episodes. I maybe watch 2 or 3 a day, so you got some time. Got some time on that. All right, well, I guess we'll go ahead and move on to our main topic, which is, I kind of mentioned it at the top of the show. It's E3. It's Summer Game Fest. It's Games Week. It's the biggest time of the year for gaming everything. So, which is kind of nice. Kind of nice to have this back. It was kind of weird. Last year was weird for a lot of reasons. So, it's kind of nice to have this back. I personally don't have a whole lot of expectations for either one of these shows, just because COVID did fuck a lot of things up for development teams. We're already seeing things get delayed. Gotham Knights got delayed till next year.
Oh no.
They came out and said the God of War is not coming out. The sequel to God of War is not coming out this year, which, yes, I wasn't expecting it to. So I expect more delays. I don't really expect a big slate for the holiday. So, but yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? What do you guys you guys excited for E3 to be back? Or are you sad that it's back and you wanted it to die? Like, where are you guys at?
I'm always happy when people like that get together and announce their stuff, because it's kind of like Christmas in a way. Everybody benefits from it, so there's a lot to look forward to, and hopefully a lot to be surprised about. Hopefully,
Yeah, it would be nice to have a few surprises, like even if it's, you know, nothing for this year, but just like some surprise announcements for games that weren't already previously announced. Like, it's always cool seeing that kind of stuff. You know, I wasn't expecting a big 2021 slate, but it would be cool to see some stuff, even if it's, a year, 2, 3 years out. Just the idea that something cool is coming is always fun.
I agree. That's what I hope to see too. I feel like we might get a lot of teases, but definitely none of this stuff will come out this year.
Right. And there's definitely that divide in fandom with the whole concept of like these teases. It's like, oh, it's just like the Fable at the Xbox showcase. What was that, in 2019? Or was that last year? Where they announced Fable, and it was basically just, a couple, like a CG trailer, and then it just said Fable. That was it.
oh, it was last year.
Yeah. And like most people that I've seen are like, oh yeah, that's years away. So it was basically just, which I'm fine with. It was just cool to see, like, there's been rumors for that game years before it was announced. So it was just nice to basically them come out and be like, yeah, you guys are on the money, we're making it, but don't expect it anytime soon. Like, that stuff doesn't bother me, but you always get those other fans that they, when there's an announcement, they want it 6 months later. So
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. There's merit. I guess there's merit for that too, especially if it's a game that's been announced, and it's just like they keep just announcing it. Like what is it, Metroid Prime 4? Like, how many fucking times?
I don't even know. Has that even been announced yet?
It's been announced twice.
Huh.
And like, I think it's like 5 years now. This E3 would be 5 years if they even talk about it. But it's also like, what was it, the Ubisoft game, Skull and Bones? Like, they've been talking about that shit for like 4 or 5 years now, and I just saw the other day that they basically scrapped it and have started over. My guess, and this is a guess, I have no insider knowledge. If you guys haven't guessed already, none of us are fucking insiders, all right? We don't work in the games industry. Nope. We're not journalists. Bunch of casuals, But my guess is that game was a battle royale, and now that we're kind of on the tail end of battle royales, I'm assuming they realize that there's no money in that anymore, and they're just starting over.
That's likely.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
Because that was announced roughly around the same time that, like, PUBG was at the height of its powers, and everybody was shitting out battle royales left and right. Mm-hmm. And now nobody is. So
that's okay. We can move on to something different.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. That's definitely a genre that I am fine with leaving behind. You guys, you can keep your Fortnite. That's great. It's it's always fun seeing whatever zany meta nonsense they're doing. But keep your battle royales out of my games. I don't want that shit bleeding over anymore. So, all right. With that being said, I say we go ahead and hop into our predictions.
Sounds
that's
good.
Like one of the best things to do with E3 or Summer Game Fest is just have your fan theories and your hopes and dreams and your expectations. So when the show ends, they can all be crushed.
Hopefully not all crushed.
No happiness here.
Exactly. So, I don't know. I say, Chelsea, let's start with you. Go ahead and just fire off one. It doesn't have to be for any specific show. Just, whatever you're thinking.
Hogwarts Legacy. I want to see something from that.
Right?
That got delayed
Yes.
to next year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Which I hope it sticks with next year, but this game has been rumored for years.
Forever.
And then after we saw that, that little trailer last year, that was great, but I want to see something more. You know, maybe if we can see a little bit more footage, or if they want to, release a different trailer, that would be great, but I think they need to show us something.
I want to see gameplay. I want a demo.
Mm-hmm. That would be great.
I'm tired of these trailers starting, and it's still just, they're kind of moving away from like CG trailers, and now it's, this game is in-game footage, but it's still just a fucking trailer. It's never just like a gameplay demo anymore. It's just like random. It's just like a bunch of random shots of in-game stitched together. That doesn't tell me anything. I just want to see someone play it for 15 minutes. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Because I still don't fully... I don't really... My expectations for this game are very low. I'm just going to throw that out there now. Because I don't really see how this game is going to work gameplay-wise or even story-wise. Because it's a prequel. Isn't it set like 100 years? It's like in the the late 19th century or something.
1890s or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's late 1800s.
And I just don't... I just don't know what you would be doing in this game. Like, it seems like a game that could easily be like a live service game, like a Destiny or something, and that would just be awful.
But I know that, so they have an FAQ on their website, and people asked if it's going to be multiplayer and stuff like that, and they've said no, which I'm okay with, and I'm excited because a Harry Potter style type like RPG, I have always wanted that, and so I probably have super high expectations for this, but I don't really care. I'm just excited to see.
If you're totally fine with disappointment, you can have those high expectations.
Yeah. Well, and I don't have to buy the game immediately. I can let other people show me what the gameplay is actually like in the story, and then I can decide to buy it. So.
I will tell you all about it when it comes to Game Pass.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. But I'm just really excited, but honestly, I'm a little nervous too, because I know they're hiring a bunch right now, and they're hiring people for story, for like game design and everything. And it's specifically, I think, related to Hogwarts Legacy. And so I'm like, I'm not sure if it's actually going to come out next year at this point, or what's going on, or if they just need more people because they're putting so much time into that game.
That could also be for, planned expansions or DLC or just contract work just to tidy up some things, like depending on how robust of an RPG they want to make, And also,
that's true.
All of these developers are seeing the shit show that happened with Cyberpunk. So nobody is making that mistake of launching either too early or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Good.
Cyberpunk was the perfect casualty to
I feel so bad for them, though.
I don't at all. They dug their own grave. They knew what they were getting into. Their hubris off of the success of Witcher 3 led to that complete and utter train wreck that they had. And they needed to be, knocked back into reality. They'll survive. It'll be fine. That game's fine. I'm pretty sure it's still not on PlayStation, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But honestly, they should never even put that on current gen anyways. I know the install base is massive and la-di-da and all that shit, and I get it. But no. That was just, everything about that whole situation was a fuck up. So all these other developers, they would rather delay, like Halo delayed a year. I guarantee you, if that was any other year, they would have been like, fuck it, put it out, we'll patch all the mistakes later.
Mm-hmm.
So But yeah, it would be nice to see something from Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not expecting that game anytime soon. Especially since the games division for Warner Brothers, like, didn't they have just a total upheaval with this, like, merger with Discovery? Because isn't the games division kind of, like, in limbo, or they don't really know where they're going, or, like, I don't know how much that affects game development, but
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, like, studios like, WB Montreal and Traveler's Tales make the Lego games, and then you got NetherRealm and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure all those are, like, somehow being moved around. I don't really know too much, but I've seen some scuttlebutt out there that merger is kind of messing everything up with that. That may be another reason why they're hiring.
It's quite possible. Well, hopefully we'll see or hear something about it.
Yeah, it would be nice for them just to reaffirm that yes, this game still exists. So,
Yes, I agree.
that's another reason why E3 exists. It's just to be like, hey, yeah, we're still making this. It didn't go away.
Mm-hmm.
Still here, guys. Still here. Promise.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop holding your breath.
All right, Wade. What about you? What do you got?
Oh man, my biggest look forward to game so far is it's got to be Final Fantasy 16. I just can't.
Yeah, it figures.
I just can't.
It figures.
They were supposed to.
Not
Well,
surprised.
Yoshi P said there was supposed to be new information out in like February. Since they announced it like end-ish of last year.
Yeah, wasn't it in the summer?
I don't know if it was in the summer, but it was a good bit ago.
Yeah.
And he said like wait till February, we'll talk about it more then. February came and went, and I died. So E3 or the game show, whatever, has to be the time and place for them to talk about it more, and I'm just gonna fall apart if that's not the case.
I mean, I know Square Enix is announced, so
They are.
Yeah.
Well, like in the they put up a graphic that like kind of showcased some of the things they were talking about, but like looking at the list, I was like, you all are messing with me or you're stupid, because this
Both.
cannot be like, this is not a list that you advertise. Guys, come listen to us and watch us, because we're going to talk about these things. And I'm like, no, you're not. Get out of here. Because like it was just all like, it was all small things like, or stuff that like, nobody's here for that. Come back with something else.
I'm wondering if they are saving the bigger stuff for the Sony State of Play, because they might as well be the same thing. Square Enix and
They could be. Yeah, it depends on this new game, this new rumored game. Is it going to be Sony only? Like I don't know. It just depends.
Because isn't 16 is seemingly a Sony exclusive, right?
Yeah, seemingly for now.
And then there was they said something where it was like PC to come later, and then that was quickly like changed or amended. So,
Yes,
something like that. So
absolutely.
So I can see Final Fantasy 16 being a part of the a Sony thing.
Well, I'm here ready for it. They did such a good job of announcing the game and like what they put in the trailer.
Yeah,
oh my god.
And I usually don't get excited for Final Fantasy games, but 16 looked pretty incredible. I like that it has like that more of like that medieval setting as opposed to like super futuristic.
I'm so glad they're going back to the more like medieval fantasy setting.
Yeah, that looks really cool.
It's been a while. It's been such a while since they've visited a place like that, but I'm ready.
Right.
Let's do it.
Yeah, because I'm wondering. My cynical nature is that 16 won't be shown at all, and they'll use this time to talk about this Team Ninja Neo-esque, Final Fantasy action game.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. They could do both. They could just spend the whole time just Final Fantasy and up.
Because they'll talk a little about Endwalker too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But just a little bit. Just a little bit.
I can't really think of anything else that Square Enix would possibly talk about unless they want to show off another lame character for Marvel's Avengers.
Oh, they are. They're introducing Black Panther.
Okay. Well, okay.
So there you go.
Okay, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything about Black Panther.
No.
I think you have to wait at least a year.
Anyway.
What about you, Ethan? What do you think?
Well, I guess my first one here is that Starfield, the new Bethesda Softworks game, I suspect it will be given a release date for next year, spring 2022, and I expect it to be Xbox PC exclusive.
Those are fair points.
I doubt seriously that Starfield would launch in the fall up against Halo. That seems very unlike Microsoft to put two big IPs right next to each other for the holidays, even though they are in a gaming drought. Halo is the bread and butter for Microsoft. So I'm assuming they would just clear lanes for that game to thrive.
Right.
And Starfield would be perfect for the spring. Perfect spring launch. February, a late February, early March, get it out there. And since Starfield's a new IP for Bethesda, and there's no already established fan base, it's also the perfect game to be exclusive with the new Xbox Bethesda partnership.
That's a good point to make there.
Because I don't see them making Elder Scrolls or Fallout whenever those new iterations come exclusive, just because they've been on both for so long. I mean, they could. They have every right to. I just don't see them doing that. But all these new IPs, I can definitely see them making exclusive, 100%. Mm-hmm. Starfield would be the perfect thing to have in their back pocket. So yeah, I'm
looking forward to Starfield myself.
I am too. I'm looking. It's gonna be nice to see, Bethesda do something other than just, Elder Scrolls and Fallout every other. It's like every other 4 to 5 years. It's a different one of those.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be nice to see something different. The new Todd Howard project. They've been working on it for years. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a new engine, because Skyrim and Fallout were all on the Creation engine, I'm pretty sure, which definitely started to show its age with Fallout 4. So it'd be nice to see Starfield on something new and just see them flex a little bit. I'm really looking forward to it.
Hey, when people start flexing, the gamers win. So let's do it.
Also, I have Game Pass, so bring it on. Just bring day one.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Pre-install it, ready to go.
What about that other Bethesda game that was teased earlier this year? Do you think we'll see more of that? The Indiana Jones
game? The new one from Machine Games? I don't know, honestly. Because it's so super early in development. If anything, it would just be it'd be a CG trailer of more Indiana Jones props.
I bet they will, honestly, because the 40th anniversary of Raiders of the Lost Ark is June 12th. So that's the day before that, I believe, that they could.
Oh yeah, June 13th.
So maybe they'll...
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be a little something.
I mean, I guess they could have been... I don't know when the development time started, but they just announced last year they started working on it. Machine Games is the developer of all the Wolfenstein games, and the last Wolfenstein was that spin-off, and I want to say that was 2018 or 2019.
It was fairly recent, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It would be cool to see something because I'm pretty excited. It's a huge departure for machine games to do, because I don't expect this Indiana Jones game to be first person. Now it seems. I mean, of course, first person whipping would be pretty awesome. Gotta say. So, but I just have to suspect that that's a third person action, like Uncharted,
I think so.
like, you know.
Mm-hmm. It's their response to Uncharted.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I doubt that there's any sort of meaningful, like any sort of like gameplay or anything like that. I can just see a maybe more fully fleshed out like CG trailer or something. Maybe that kind of talks about the storyline or where he's going in the world or whatever, what he's looking for or whatever. You know.
Just another tease.
I want it to be old man Indiana Jones.
Ooh.
Like escaping the retirement home Indiana Jones.
Oh my god.
That's what I want.
Oh man.
Let's
Indiana
do it. Why
Jones,
not?
the golden years.
Golden years.
All right, Chelsea, we're back to you.
Okay. What about Star Wars? Do you think we'll see another one? It could possibly be a Battlefront 3.
See,
But I think it's too early for a tease to Fallen Order, the sequel.
and the only reason I don't think a Battlefield 3 would be announced is because Battlefield is coming out, I would assume this year. If they're having like a big show for it, I'm assuming it's going to be the big fall game for DICE. And since DICE is also the one that makes, you know, Battlefront for Star Wars, I doubt seriously if they would, like 2 days prior, have a big showcase for Battlefield just to announce Battlefront later.
That would be true. Yeah.
I did, however, as one of my predictions, have on there that they would at least announce a sequel for Fallen Order for holiday 2022. Okay. I can see him just having like a title art,
great.
You know, maybe like a different name, like Star Wars Jedi, New Age or some shit, whatever title they want to come up with, and then just show like 2022. I can see that. No gameplay,
I'd be happy with
nothing
that.
else, but I can. Because I mean, when did that game come out? Wasn't that 2018? Or was that 2019?
Yes.
It was like
I think it was
like fall 2018. I feel like COVID was like 30 years long, so I can't remember when.
That's yes.
I think that game did come out in 2019 because I played it at the beginning of last year, but it felt like I played that game like 3 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. I feel same. So, and I mean, you know, I think Respawn does Apex, but they have a different team that does Fallen Order. So, 2 years. Granted, one of those years I guess is probably a toss out just because of COVID. But you know they're doing it, so.
Yeah, they have to.
And EA, there's going to be a big EA play, so I can see, you know, they're going to spend 10 minutes on all their sports games or whatever. But I can see them ending with a Fallen Order tease. The game was very successful, you know, a critic darling, so they definitely got something on their hands with that one. But yeah. Wade, what about you?
Let's see what else. I mean, there's always Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
Did I steal it from you?
I mean, that was one of them. You guys are just. This is why I write down like 15 predictions, because I assumed this would happen. You go ahead and read yours, and I'll tell you what mine was.
Oh, I don't really have a prediction with it. It might come out this year.
You just think that they'll talk about it?
Oh, I'm sure they will. See, I have feelings when it comes to Legend of Zelda, especially this year, because this year is the 35th anniversary.
Right.
And they brought it up the first time, and they were like, "Hey, it's the anniversary." ... Yeah. See you later. And everybody was like, "Oh, And then they came back the next time and they're like, we have so much in store for you. It's going to be exciting. And everybody's like crying. And they're like, here's you some Skyward Sword. And everybody's like, what? This is not what we wanted. So I think they're really going to push something this year, I hope.
See, that's what I was getting ready to ask. When is Skyward Sword? Is that fall? Is that a fall release?
I want to say it's like July or August. It's pretty soon.
Okay. Because my prediction was that Nintendo announces Breath of the Wild 2 for a holiday release with the new Switch Pro.
Well, that would be great because the Breath of the Wild 1 came out with the actual Switch.
Exactly.
So that's appropriate.
It's a perfect way to already boost another install base for your brand new fucking console with another Breath of the Wild.
And they have my $400, so let's go.
Because I'm like, I don't want to say 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that the Switch Pro or Super, if they don't call it Super Switch, that's a missed opportunity.
It really is.
Honestly, it should just be called the Super Switch.
Super Switch.
And I am fully expecting that to be a holiday release. Not bundled, but with Breath of the Wild 2 being the main game for it. And Breath of the Wild 2 will also be, compatible with regular Switch, just like they did with first Breath of the Wild, able to play on the Wii U. They're not going to isolate it to the new console. I wanted that. But that's like my big Nintendo prediction, is that Breath of the Wild 2 and the Super Switch, as I'm going to call it now, are going to come out this holiday.
I like that one.
I bet the whole Nintendo Direct is going to be like Breath of the Wild 2. Because they don't have anything else. It's the perfect year to do it. It's the 35th anniversary. There's no new Mario. There's no new Yoshi or Kirby or anything else. Metroid Prime 4, whatever, it's probably fucking canceled again and they'll start over. I was kind of toying with the idea that they would do a Metroid Prime trilogy, like bundle, like remaster, re-release. Just because I feel like Nintendo's kind of like doing a bunch of like reselling old games untouched for full price. So those are like, that's a perfect.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
But
I mean, to be fair, if they did that with like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and something else, I'd be on top of that too. So
for the anniversary. I was surprised they didn't do a bundle like they did with Mario.
Well, that's what people thought, and that's why people were so heartbroken when they were like, "Here's Skyward Sword," and they're like, "It's not like Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess and Wind Waker because you've remade those two games. You can just throw them all together." But
right, and Skyward Sword is basically the black sheep of the franchise. So out of the main, we're not getting into the mobile or the handheld versions.
Man, they could like do little remakes of like the Game Boy Advance games though too. Those are excellent.
Well, they did that basically like a legitimate remake of Link's Awakening. They could do another one of those.
Oh, I mean, and that was excellent. That was a great time.
Yeah, it had like a cute, charming kind of style to it, and basically the same game, just a whole different art style, and remade for the modern times.
Yeah,
so they could definitely do that again with one of the other older handheld versions. But yeah, I think they completely squandered the anniversary up to this point. Up to this point for Zelda. Like, I feel like they made, and maybe, arguably Mario is probably the more, like, the bigger property when you think Nintendo. You almost immediately think Mario, but I feel like Zelda is like the strong number 2,
So, for sure, easily.
I would agree.
Yeah, so, and it's like, oh yeah, it's the 35th anniversary. I guess we'll give you Skyward Sword and we take out the motion controls. Fuck you guys. Like, that's basically how that went so far.
Yeah.
So So yeah, very little fanfare for one of their biggest properties. So with that in mind, I definitely am with you. I want to see Breath of the Wild 2 this soon. Because it can't, I mean, it has to be, you would think it's the same world, right? Just with a different coat of paint, you know? Like the whole Ocarina Majora's Mask kind of thing. This is the Majora's Mask of Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, well, I think they said that, yeah, like this Breath of the Wild 2 will be a direct sequel. Like,
Right.
it's the same Link, the same Zelda, the same place.
Yeah.
So that'll be pretty exciting.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, in terms of that, you know, I'm going to armchair be a game developer here. Most of your assets are already, you would think, done. So, it's got to, you know, tune those sliders to a different color scheme and you're ready to go. Right?
I mean, maybe even throw in a playable Zelda in there, too.
No.
You're a monster.
No. Nobody wants that.
Everybody wants that.
It would be interesting. I know Nintendo won't do it because that's not really their thing, but it would be cool to see a co-op, like a co-op option.
Oh, God, that'd be really great.
And something better than, you know, what Odyssey's co-op was, where the second player just plays Mario's fucking hat. You know, like I don't want Breath of the Wild 2 and the second player is, you know, Zelda's tunic.
Oh my God.
So. But yeah, it would be cool to see some sort of like multiplayer component to that. But yeah, I definitely think if Breath of the Wild 2 does come out, it almost has to be on a new Switch. Because the Switch as it is now is starting to struggle with some of these bigger games. Like the, oh boy, what was it called? The Dynasty Warriors like Zelda game. You know what I'm talking about? Age of Calamity.
Mm-hmm.
That game has some serious frame rate issues. On the
Those
Switch.
games often have frame rate issues anyway, just because they shove so many people on the screen at once.
Right. Docked and undocked, that game chugs. So it's getting to the point if Nintendo's going to keep making some of these bigger games, I feel like they almost need a hardware boost. It's about time. So.
Well, hopefully we'll be in luck this summer.
I mean, I'm not getting it. So
hopefully I'm in luck this
hopefully. And Chelsea is very much a console monogamist, so she pretty much only will have her Sony console. I've tried to get her to get a Switch or an Xbox, and so yeah, she won't. She's against it.
Yep.
That's okay. You like what you like, and that's okay.
No, it's not okay. You have to like what I like.
Thank you.
Chelsea,
Thank
it's
you,
okay.
Wade.
It's
You have
okay.
to like what I
Thank
like,
you.
or you're wrong.
We can let Ethan sit over there and pout. It's okay.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know what he's saying. I'm just ignoring him.
Sit on my throne of lies and judgment.
Yep.
So
Enjoy it.
With that said, it's my turn.
I guess.
All right, so I got. We'll go with this one. I suspect that Psychonauts 2 will be at the Xbox Showcase, and I'm also expecting it to be same day released on Game Pass during the show.
Yeah, let's do that.
They already put the original Psychonauts on Game Pass a couple weeks ago. You know, Tim Schafer's been out there on Twitter teasing and talking about how it's coming soon. How cool would it be for them to show off like some gameplay and then at the end of it and be like, and it's on Game Pass right now. You know? Especially since this is a digital event, it's perfect. People can just be automatically go in there and start downloading it and start playing it.
That would be awesome.
So that's another one of my Xbox Showcase predictions. I fully expect the Xbox Showcase to be just games because they get so much flack for their drought that they're in right now. So,
I mean, that's all it ever needs to be, really. Like, we're here for the games. Let's see the games.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I definitely suspect Psychonauts 2 to be released on Game Pass during the show. So yeah, that's mine. That's my other one. Chelsea, what do you got? One more. Last one.
One more. Oh, I mean, this is probably not realistic at all, but I would love to hear something about the new Mass Effect game.
Oh, yeah.
Even just another tease, or at least a title.
Maybe a title, yeah. Do you think that they would put too much into it with Dragon Age looming? Because that's got to be the next BioWare game, right? Dragon Age?
Yeah, it has to be, because I thought they've actually been working on that for a while. Or something.
I mean, they've announced it already, so...
Yeah, I mean, it's been at least... It's been shown at least 2 or 3 shows. Like, not gameplay, but, they do, like, I think the first time it was shown was, like, a dev diary or something, and then, like, what was it, last year they showed, like, a CG trailer or something to show off the engine or whatever. So you would suspect that if they're going to show off any BioWare property, it would be Dragon Age. But it would be very cool to get at least a title for Mass Effect. Yeah. Other than Mass Effect 4. So
I need something a little more than that, yeah.
Oh, was Andromeda not considered for?
No, Andromeda is not considered anything.
It's just considered Andromeda.
Oh, we just don't consider Andromeda.
No.
Okay.
Hey, we'll have to have a discussion about Andromeda.
Andromeda doesn't exist, and I don't. If you say otherwise, I don't believe you. So.
It does exist. It does. Oh, but yes, we'll have to talk more about that.
Deal.
Yeah. We'll save that for an undisclosed episode that will never happen.
Yes. No, that will happen.
But yeah, I'm with you. I definitely think BioWare needs to, just showing that they're making a Mass Effect, it definitely looks like it's a sequel to the original trilogy. Mm-hmm. They're definitely in their rebirth stage where they need to get some credibility back. The Mass Effect trilogy or Legendary Edition, whatever, that just came out, everyone seems to be really liking it. So, if Dragon Age comes out and it's another turd on their resume, then
it'll be rough for them.
I just don't have any. Yeah, I wouldn't have any expectations for a new Mass Effect to be anything other than trash. So, I hope not, because I really love Dragon Age and Mass Effect, but so much talent has left BioWare, and they're just like a husk of their former selves right now. So, we'll see.
All we can do is hope.
Yep, exactly. All right, Wade, what's your last one? Give me a final one.
I'm kind of looking at my list, kind of trying to figure out what I want to talk about, and I've got a bunch of smaller things. Like maybe an announcement of Spider-Man 2. Maybe.
I doubt it, just because.
I wish.
Just because Ratchet and Clank is literally coming out like that same week, and that's an Insomniac game.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see Insomniac like.
Oh, that's fair. I guess.
You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think about that. It's too bad.
I would definitely rather see Spider-Man 2 than another Ratchet and Clank. Like, the first one's fine. It's a great one of those games. It's just not my cup of tea anymore. I feel like that would have been a great Ethan game for 10-year-old me, but I just can't get into that shit anymore. The collect-a-thon, shooter kind of things, just I don't know, aren't for me anymore.
Right. I'm sure they'll talk more about the new Pokemon games coming out to some degree.
Yeah.
To some degree. Like, maybe just Diamond and Pearl, probably. But
is the
I'm
other
okay
one,
with that.
What's the other one? Pokemon Arceus? Isn't it?
Arceus. Pokemon Legends Arceus, yeah.
Is that coming out
Arceus.
this year as well, or is it just announced?
It'll be in I think it's January of next year.
Oh, okay.
Which is fine. I mean, looking forward to seeing more on that too. But that one's gonna be a little while,
Right.
and it's just so different at the moment.
Right.
I hope it's not. I hope it ends up being engaging different and not oh, well, there's this now, I guess.
Right.
So
Yeah, 'cause
well,
that
that's we'll just
It's
have to
open
see.
world, right? So hopefully they kind of
Seemingly, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully they build upon Sword and Shield a little bit.
Like the wild area kind of concept, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It's something to look forward to. It seems like it could be pretty cool. It's nice to see them do different things besides just the standard, iterations of Pokemon every couple years.
Right.
So, you got any other couple small ones you want to throw out there real quick?
I'm kind of hoping that Bethesda drops a tiny bit more on Elder Scrolls 6. I don't need much, man. I just need a nibble.
Yeah.
More than a 6-second CGI trailer.
I know,
title,
that's
a person.
not even it. That literally just looks like drone footage with text.
I know. I don't need a set. I don't really need a setting. I don't need characters. I need something.
Yeah.
Something.
That would, yeah. I don't know. I can definitely see Bethesda's big thing just fully focusing on Starfield.
And if they do that, that's okay too.
Because
I'm okay with
I
that.
don't suspect Elder Scrolls 6 for another couple of years.
Oh yeah, no, it's not anywhere close. I'm thirsty. I just need something. I need some water.
Yeah. I mean, hell, we'll probably have new consoles by the time that game comes out. So we'll be on the PlayStation 6 when that game comes out. Yeah, I mean, I have a couple small ones. I had on there that a Gears of War 6 would be announced for 2022. Wolfenstein 3 would be announced for 2022. Forza Horizon 5 announced for the fall. I guess my other kind of pipe dream one is that Xbox reveals the new Hideo Kojima game as an Xbox exclusive. And solely based on the fact that during one of these weird virtual interviews with oh my god, I'm blanking on his name now. Mr. Xbox. We'll call him.
Phil Spencer?
Phil Spencer. I kept wanting to say Paul Schaefer.
Paul Schaefer. My man Paul Schaefer.
Paul Schaefer over here. Yes, Phil Spencer, during one of his virtual interviews, had a Luden on his bookshelf, which is basically the logo for Kojima Productions. And that Xbox is actively seeking Japanese talent and Japanese developers. So I'm expecting them to announce that they're working with Kojima on his next game and that it would be an Xbox PC exclusive. I was contemplating saying that Xbox just right out would acquire Kojima Productions, but I don't think that is going to happen. So
that would be something, I think.
It'd be
big.
It would be nice for Microsoft to have some Japanese developers under their umbrella. But I just don't see it being Kojima since he just now went, on his own. So.
Right. I mean, that's why he left in the first place, so.
Exactly. So. But it would be cool if, Xbox got the new Kojima game. So yeah, that was my final kind of big pipe dream. Well, I guess the other one was that Elden Ring would release this fall and be an Xbox timed exclusive. So, But I
We'll
feel
see.
yeah, I feel like since George R. R. Martin is a part of this, I feel like this game could be 10 years out. You know?
Yeah, we've already lost it. It's already gone.
Exactly. When it was initially announced, it said it was going to be for PS4 and Xbox One. So we're already on a new generation. And it's still just sitting out there. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up mine. I guess the other one I had, it kind of already happened, but that God of War would be delayed. So
Yeah.
I already got
Yep.
one right. So I'm already ahead of the game. So, but yeah, I fully expect God of War to launch in the spring, just like the last one did. It came out in like April. So I definitely expect God of War Ragnarok, if that's what it's going to be called, to come out April 2022. So, but yeah, you guys have any other ones? Any little tidbits?
Nothing huge for now.
Chelsea?
No, nothing really. Just pipe dreams.
Hey, I love pipe dreams. All of mine are pipe
I
dreams.
would love a new X-Men game. You know, surprises with X-Men Legends 3. That's just a wishful.
Oh my god, that would be
thinking.
amazing. Honestly, I would take any superhero game right now. You know, we had Miles Morales, and that's great, but I want,
More.
I want something other than Spider-Man or
want
Batman to
more.
have their own game. I feel like Spider-Man and Batman are the only fucking characters that ever get their own game.
Well, they've got
Yep.
such a large personal universe that doesn't have to involve anybody else. But you look into stories of like other characters, either they just have like zero cast, or like their world's just not very big.
Also, in terms of just like your casual fan, Batman and Spider-Man may be some of the most popular names, and you don't even have to be a comic book fan.
Oh no, they are. They're consistently at the top of the list.
Yeah, like I would argue that Superman is another one, but I just don't ever see him getting a game that would work.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the idea of Superman basically being able to do anything, like I just like I don't see how that game would be fun. So. But I do get tired of seeing Superman, this happened in Injustice. It looks like it's going to happen in the new Rocksteady Suicide Squad game, where it's just like, oh, Superman's evil again. Like, can we do something else with him besides just make him a giant asshole?
He works so well as one though.
I mean, I guess, but
Because if
like,
he's a hero, you have to find a way for Superman to not participate in your game. Otherwise, there's not a game.
right,
He just takes care of everything on his own.
and maybe that would be a perfect game. It's super short. It's like you can beat it in 15 minutes. Or you got to find the villain. That's all it is.
X-ray vision, man.
Exactly.
X-ray vision.
Oh, there he is. It's like a Where's Waldo, but you're with Superman. There you go. We nailed it. Someone hire me.
Yep.
Got your Superman game. All right. Well, I guess with E3, E3 kicks off. We got, like I said, we got Battlefield on Wednesday. I don't think there's anything tomorrow or Tuesday, right?
No, everything starts on Thursday, I think.
Yeah, you got the Summer Game Fest kicking off Thursday. You get the Battlefield reveal on Wednesday, and then it's big. We're off and running. So pretty exciting times. Before we end our first episode ever, we should also talk about the other thing that's coming out this week that's not game related, and that is the new Marvel TV show on Disney Plus, Loki. So, what do you guys think? Are you guys excited for this? Are you not excited for this?
Oh, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do it.
Chelsea, what do you think?
I'm excited. I think it could be fun. I just hope it doesn't have like a terrible ending to it where they just kind of end it or lackluster.
Yeah.
Seems there'll be a little theme where some of these shows have weird endings.
Yeah, I feel like we're already 2 shows in with the MCU TV, experience, and I don't think either one of them has stuck the landing. So,
I mean, as far as like the endings go.
right, yeah, I feel like both endings were kind of just lackluster.
Yeah, well,
I don't know if it's because my expectations are tied to MCU films, or I don't know. I don't know what it is. It may be me, but I haven't really enjoyed how either one of the shows kind of wrapped up, I guess.
Yeah, well, with the shows, you have to remember that they're just like preludes to the actual movies, and the movies are the endings to those stories.
Right.
But they should still be able to wrap up a story nicely.
Yeah.
It's a TV show.
Yeah.
I know that they're teasing for everything later on, but it's just unfortunate. They should really just
I also
be able to still
feel
stand
like,
up on their own.
So, like, in my opinion, the WandaVision... I don't know. We could have a whole fucking episode on WandaVision.
We could.
But, like,
No,
the whole last episode for me was very, Halloween Town for me. I hated everything about it. The only thing that came from it that was awesome is that we can finally call her Scarlet Witch, which we've all been fucking doing anyways. So, but now the characters can actually call her Scarlet Witch. So yeah, and then Winter Soldier. That one wasn't as I don't know. The production values weren't as kind of subpar as WandaVision in terms of like how they wrapped up the climax, but it still kind of was, I don't know, weird, I guess. Just neither one of them had great endings for me. And I'm pretty sure Loki's also like the shortest one.
How many episodes is Loki?
Isn't it? I thought it was like 6, or did I just
Wasn't Winter Soldier 6?
I think
Yeah, I thought that was
Winter Soldier 6 or 7?
I think it was 6.
I think it was 6.
Maybe it was
WandaVision was 8.
Right, yeah.
8? Right?
I think it was 8.
I thought it was 9.
It might have been 9.
It's 9. Yeah.
So yeah.
But do you guys think it's weird that Loki's going to come out on Wednesdays?
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it's Wednesdays.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah,
Huh.
I don't know what that's about. But yeah, they announced that it's going to be every Wednesday instead of every Friday. I don't know if it's because they wanted to wrap up sooner because they have something else. You know what I mean? So, like, 6 Wednesdays from June 9th, maybe they have, like, maybe that's when Black Widow comes out or some shit. I don't know. There's got to be some sort of, like, marketing reason why they wanted to end sooner. So.
But it's definitely interesting to pick Wednesdays.
Yeah. And it's I mean, I guess it's kind of superfluous in a sense because it's a streaming service and not broadcast. Usually when shows change dates on like TV, you can look at it and be like, oh, this show's ratings are shitty, so they're moving it to the dead zone slot, or there's like stuff to look into for that. But I feel like with a streaming service, that's not really always the case.
Yeah, it's probably more of a convenience thing for them, maybe. I don't know. I really don't.
I think it just has probably just to do with dates. They want it to be finished before, because Black Widow is what, July 20th? Is that right?
For now.
Right. So maybe they just want it to be over before Black Widow starts. Maybe there's a tease at the end of Loki for I don't know.
That would be weird.
But
It'll be interesting.
that seems like that's the only reason why they would have it on Wednesdays. It's just they want it to end at a certain time that works for their plans. Because they didn't really give a reason other than Like, I think when they announced it, they're like, "Oh, Loki's the god of mischief, so he's moving his slot up 2 days." Which is great. That's cute, but that doesn't explain to me why, in real life, why it's coming out on Wednesdays. So, but no, I gotta say I'm probably more excited about this one than all the others, just because after seeing some footage for it, it looks like it's has like some of the best like cinematography for it and varied locations, and it just looks like it's time spanning and location spanning. It just looks like they could do some really cool stuff with it. The only like hesitation I have for it is the same that I had with WandaVision, where the internet kind of ruined WandaVision for me in terms of fan theories, and you had like cast and crew saying shit that was going to happen that never did, and all this misdirection, and they're like, oh well, this is going to happen. You had like at one point like Elizabeth Olsen was like, oh yeah, you're never going to believe who shows up at the end of the show, and it was fucking nobody. So I mean, I don't want that to happen with Loki. You know what I mean? I don't want Tom Hiddleston on Twitter and be like, oh, you'll never guess who's going to come in episode 3. Like, don't fucking put that out in the ether for me. Just let the show happen.
Well, for them to let the show happen, the fans have to let the show happen, and that's just not how that works.
I mean, fans can, say all kinds of stupid-ass nonsense they want, but a lot of these theories are, like, fueled because there were these, like, people from the show putting it out there. Like, Paul Bettany was doing it, fucking Elizabeth Olsen was doing it, like, all these people were doing it, and it was annoying, It was super annoying. It was driving me crazy. Like,
I don't listen to anybody doing those things, so, like, I was the one in the backseat laughing at everybody else, because all these things, like, came crumbling down around them with all their theories they had come up with, and I was like, you idiots.
Well, it also
Why
got
did
to
you do that to yourself?
It also got to the point where some of the fan theories conceptually were cooler than the show actually turned out to be. So that was also disappointing.
With when it comes to Scarlet Witch, though, I mean, there's an infinite end of things that could happen because of who she is and how she does things.
Yeah. Right. And I kind of feel like the premise of Loki also kind of has that as well, because you're dealing with time. So with that in mind, it can literally change the entire landscape of what's happening.
The thing about the Loki show too is that it's not based off of anything.
Right.
It doesn't follow like an overarching story that's already been told in a comic. It has things in the show that we can already see in the trailers that are references and stuff to other smaller Loki story arcs. Loki for President comes to mind. All those things, like we've already seen them in the trailers. Right. So it'll be cool to see how the story uses those things, but the overarching story, to my knowledge, is completely new. So there isn't we can't figure out ahead of time like kind of where they're going, like we could with WandaVision. Because with WandaVision we could go, well, how much is it going to follow the House of M? How much is it going to follow, the main storyline of her kids and everything else? So
right.
I'm ready to see just in the direction they're going with it.
Yeah, because this definitely seems like it's very much an MCU story and not necessarily a Marvel Comics story.
Right.
Which is great for people who aren't, well versed in the comics. It's just, this is for just like the film fans,
Yeah. I do think there is something I am expecting with this show, because it's something we've seen already with WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Both of those shows did a lot with character development, with characters that we hadn't seen a lot of. And it's interesting because we have seen a lot of Loki, but this Loki is not the Loki that we followed along all this time. This is the one that's from the Avengers.
And he doesn't have all of that extra character development from Dark World and especially the Infinity stuff.
Ragnarok.
This is basically still just evil Loki, just straight up evil Loki.
Yeah, so hopefully we get to see more of his character development, and if he will actually have development like the other Loki, or if it'll be a completely new character.
I'm expecting him to kind of go back to his nefarious, because I don't see him developing him into where we've left off Loki. And
like the anti-hero Loki.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because he doesn't have Thor now to like morally kind of rein him back in, or their mom dying and stuff like that. So
exactly. Like I'm assuming they want to set this up so they can bring Loki back as a villain.
I mean, he's got the time cops to deal with, but
right.
I don't think they're going to be a moral compass for him. As much of when can I sneak out of this and go mess stuff up again?
I was gonna say, I honestly see this ending, if I had to have any sort of prediction or whatever, is I see this ending with Loki completely fucking up time, and it sets up like some of the grander multiverse expectations for Doctor Strange and Spider-Man No Way Home, is that if Loki actually does mess with the time variance authority and fractures multiple time strains or whatever, I could see that leading to more of these, like, what we were expecting from WandaVision and stuff, where it is dealing with the multiverse. This is like the last show that would actually set that up, TV-wise.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That's true.
Because I don't see any of that shit happen.
What TV show do we have after Loki?
I think Miss Marvel's the other one that's this year, and I think Hawkeye is the other one that's this year.
Oh,
which neither one of those are going to be fucking with multiverse, I don't think.
Yeah, they'll be about introducing new characters.
Exactly. So you're going to get Kate Bishop and Hawkeye, and you're going to get, Miss Marvel and Miss Marvel. So, which is fine. Whatever. I don't. Whatever. They exist. They're characters. So yeah, I after seeing WandaVision and after seeing Falcon and Winter Soldier, I've completely tempered expectations in terms of like big reveals and any sort of like revelatory things for the grander MCU. So I'm not expecting anything from Loki in terms of that. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, Kang the Conqueror is gonna show up and all this other cool shit. Like, I don't expect any of that to happen.
Well, they may talk about Kang a little bit because he's supposed to be the villain in the next Ant-Man movie.
Yeah, I mean,
so they could set him up.
I could see like Owen Wilson just like name dropping him casually in like conversation about other time deviants or some shit. I don't know. I can see it being a throwaway gag almost. A little.
I think we'll get a lot of those.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't expect anything grandiose for the broader MCU. I feel like all Phase 4 is pretty much just, kind of like what they said it would be. A lot of just setups, a lot of new beginnings, a lot of, a lot of nothing, really.
So, a lot of good times.
A lot of just, yeah. These are the fillers, before the big stuff happens. This is the Vegeta covered in purple goo of the MCU. Bring it back to Dragon Ball. Everything's Dragon Ball.
Everything is Dragon Ball.
Everything is Dragon Ball. All right, so yeah, that starts June 9th, which is, a few days. So, so yeah, our next, next week, our next episode, we can kind of talk about our thoughts on the first episode.
Definitely.
So, you guys got anything else with the Loki show?
I don't think so.
Nope.
Anything else? Anything else before we call it? Before we call it on our first episode.
Nope.
Our first and only episode. It was a fun experiment, guys.
It's only the beginning.
Yeah, it was a fun experiment, guys. We're done. All right, well, cool. I guess that's going to do it for the first episode. Congratulations. We did it. We did it. So yeah, going forward, we're going to record next Sunday, which I don't know what date that is, but it's next Sunday.
That would be the 13th.
The 13th. Thank you, calendar man. So yeah, if we keep that cadence, new episodes will be every Monday, and you can follow the podcast on basically I would assume any platform you can get podcasts on. You know, Apple, your Googles, your Spotify's, Stitcher, a couple other other ones. I don't know. wherever you guys listen to your podcast, we're probably there. So look us up, give us a follow, give us a like, give us a review. Unless it's negative, then fuck off. I don't want it. I don't want to read it. Just give us the stars. Give us the 5 stars. Give us all the likes.
If you have questions about things we talked about in the episode, ask us questions too.
Yeah, feel free to email us. Our email is demasteredpodcast@gmail.com. So yeah, if you have any sort of questions you want to ask us or comments or whatever, just send us your emails.
Mm-hmm. And you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well.
Yeah, so there you go. Follow us on all those platforms as well. Follow us everywhere. Follow us at our houses.
Show us that you love us.
Yeah, this is the part of the show. We'll give out our phone numbers and addresses. Call me anytime. Send us your mail. Send us your letters. We'll read them. All right, that's it for the first show, everybody. That's we're calling it. We're calling it a show. That's the first show.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.